Hey y'all, whether it's morning, evening, or afternoon, I'm just glad that you guys had decided to vibe with E. Yes, the one and only E. Hey y'all, hope y'all feeling amazing, doing amazing, or just being amazing overall. And if not, it's okay. It's alright, my friend, because you know why? Bad times don't last forever, because after every storm there is a rainbow. And my friend, you're getting closer and closer every day to that rainbow, that pot of gold, that light at the end of the tunnel. Whichever one you prefer, okay, my friend, you got this. I'm here for you. I'm cheering you on. Slow and steady wins the race, but I also want you guys to remember to rely on them bad times, because them bad times had got you guys to where you want to be, and it also motivated you and grounded you and made you be into the person you are today and help you to where you want to get at today, okay? As always, hey y'all, what's up, what's poppin'? If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And for the ones that are not new to this but true to this, hey y'all, what's up, what's poppin'? Hey y'all, we are in the second week of September, and I'm super excited because we're so close to the holiday season. I hope you guys are really like doing good. I know like a lot of new things have happened, going back to like back to school, back to balance. I hope you guys are working on that. I hope things are going slow and steady for you, and if not, I promise you it's going to get better. Just take your time, just, you know, take it one day at a time, roll with the punches, and I promise you it's going to get better. Okay, so guys, we do got a lot, I will say a lot, but a little bit of stuff to tap on today. And of course, if you're new here, I have a newsletter now, and we are on newsletter 14, I believe. I think we're on, no, I believe we're on newsletter 13, I believe. Let me double check, because y'all, if it's 14, I'm like, hold up, something ain't right, y'all. I think I'm mixing up the count, but yes, we're on newsletter 13. On here, I did mix it up with 14, but it's okay, it's all right, you know, because that's a simple, easy adjustments, okay? But nevertheless, y'all, I really hope that you guys are handling things, and if not, it's going to get better. I promise you. Like, it's, you know, we have those moments in life where they creep up on us, and it's like, why is this happening to us? And we always get to second guessing ourselves, as well as second guessing the situation that's going on. But I'm a big firm believer on it's meant to happen for a reason. Now that I understand why things happen, I'm a big firm believer on that they happen for a reason. So that's why I say all the time, bad times don't last forever, okay? It doesn't. And then, you know, once you go to the bottom, there's nowhere else you could go. The only place to go is the top. So I want you guys to remember that as well, because I learned that as well from one of my dearest friends. So yes, y'all, we are on the 13th newsletter, and we are in week 2 of September. September's vibes is based on education and wellness, growing minds, nurturing souls, and this is part 2. So we already did the introductions, but this week, you know, we're in the second week of September, and the theme continues with education and wellness, growth minds, and while nurturing souls. This month is all about learning, healing, and creating balance both inside and out. This week's challenge: speak up and check in on yourself and on others. Remember, awareness isn't just knowledge, it's action. Compassion and connection can save lives as well. So I want you guys to think, okay, what's today's vibe of the day before y'all really get into the vibe of the day. So I'm super excited to say that Vibing Out with Guests have reached 20 guest appearances. Yes, we have reached 20 guest appearances, y'all. Like, you do not know how happy I am that we've reached 20 guest appearances. 20, y'all. Like, within the type of the short span that I have started, like, Vibing Out with Guests didn't even turn 1 year old yet. And since March, April, May, June, July, August, September, within a 7-month span, we have reached 20 Vibing Out with Guest appearances. And I'm so thankful for everyone that vibed out with me, to the featured guests on there. I'm so excited to see you guys. To the ones that will in the future be a guest, I'm so excited. Like, I'm just so thankful and honored. Like, y'all, this is really, really a milestone. Like, this week's episode of Vibe Out with Guests marks a milestone. Like, the 20th guest appearance. Like, come on now. However, this guest who made it to the 20th guest appearances, the 20th guest appearance, we will vibe out with a powerful conversation featuring a guy who's an artist, a football coach, and a creative voice, passionate about music, sports, and culture. In the conversation, we explored the influence of music both as it heals and inspires, how sports shapes resilient teamwork and leadership, the evolving role of culture in shaping identity in the community, coaching and mentoring the next generation, life lessons that has fueled his personal and creative journey. So this session is a celebration of passion, culture, and the power of using your gift to inspire others. And that comes out this Friday, September 12th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube and on all platforms that you guys are able to listen to Vibe It Out with E. Okay? This week's vibe of the day, well, quote of the week, is, education is not just filling the mind, it's about shaping the soul. Education is not just about filling the mind, it's about shaping the soul. And of course, you guys will stay connected by following the podcast page on IG, also known as Instagram, at vibing.with.e. Okay? And use hashtag vibingwithe to share your favorite moments and reflections. Okay? So now let's get into it. Today's vibe of the day is a vibe that is impacted with the month of September. That impacts with going back to the note I said this week's challenge is to speak up and check in on yourself and on others. Remember, awareness isn't just knowledge, it's action. Compassion and connection can save lives. That part, save lives, hopefully it rang a bell, as well as speaking up and checking in on yourself. Having that compassion, empathy, as well as advocating for yourself and others is a very big thing that goes on in the month of September, that we also need to teach the younger generation, even the older generation as well, because we all need to teach each other on these things of being able to speak up about how we feel, as well as checking up on others that we care so much about. And even like the saying, check up on the strongest people, the people that's always there for you, and the people that are always smiling, because you never know what's hiding behind that smile. Okay? So today's vibe of the day, episode 120. So y'all, this is so super dope. Like, we made, like, that's so crazy. I just peeped that. So episode 120 of this week, y'all, we will be focusing on breaking the silence within suicide prevention awareness. September is impacted with suicide awareness, and I spoke on it last year. That's why the theme for this month is education, wellness, growing minds while nurturing your soul, because this is the month where we pay close attention for suicide prevention awareness, breaking the silence. And the reason why I put this vibe for the second week of the month is because this is where it gets the nitty gritty, when we going back to school, back to balance, and sometimes things happen at times where we get into those feelings of we don't want to have. And this is a very sensitive but very important topic that needs to be discussed. As you guys know, if you're new here, I am in grad school to be a social worker, a school social worker at that. And currently I have an internship at a alternative high school where I work with students that are, re-engaging or suspension students in their high school level. And working with children, period, is very, very nothing to play with. You have to have a passion for it, or sometimes you find a passion into what you're doing. And I found the passion of what I'm doing within what I'm doing right now for the podcast, as well as adding those lessons and incorporating them into my students that I serve. And this topic really hits the fan and hit the nose and stuff for me, because at my internship, I created a board based on Suicide Prevention Month. I'm trying to see if it's on my iPad, y'all, but I don't think it's on my iPad. And that's okay if it's not, you know, it's okay, it's alright, you know. But the notes that I had on there were very important to express to the children about, as well as staff, because sometimes we all have those moments where we just can't do it. So I found the picture, y'all. So I have, it says National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. I don't really think y'all can see it. If you're watching the video, you probably really can't see it, but I'm gonna, you know, read it out and then we're gonna jump into the vibe. So the warning signs of suicide, you know, suicidal, of someone having those suicidal feelings, emotions, is talking about wanting to die, seeking out means to die by suicide, withdrawals or isolation from others, talking about feeling hopeless or trapped. If you or anyone that you know are feeling this, please access the help immediately. And one way that you can access is called 988. That's the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. As well as they have a text hotline. It's 741-741. It's the crisis text line. By texting home to the number, you can connect with a live trained crisis counselor for helping you with compassion, and it's 24/7. It's 24/7 support. The crisis text line offers confidentiality and anonymous support to all individuals feeling any crisis. More of the story is, guys, your story matters. Like, your story matters. Your mental health matters just as much as you do. Like, we're here for you. It's people that are here to support you as well as love for you. And I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of more information on this, and then we're gonna jump into it. So I'm glad I did have this, my board on my iPad, to give y'all a little sense of it, and then we can go deep into the vibe of the day. So the myths and the facts that people have been saying about it is, like, you know, people who talk about suicide are not just seeking attention, they may be at risk. So when you hear people, you know, sometimes even online, that they always in their feelings, and we all, trust me, we all go through this. Even sometimes I go through it, be like, oh my gosh, why is my friend or this person I know is telling themselves, like, telling their feelings online? But sometimes that's the only way that people can communicate and to have people to be alarmed about what's going on. So people who talk about suicide are not seeking attention, they may be at risk. So if you see those signs or anything, please reach out to them as well. And talking openly about mental health encourages understanding and support. So the myth is, people who talks about suicide are not just seeking attention, they may be at risk. And the fact is that talking openly about your mental health encourages understanding and support, as well as the predictive factors that can help people that are going through this is friends, family, school staff, and even activities. Therapists, psychologists, social workers are people that can be able to help people that are in that mindset of suicide, having suicidal thoughts. And a way to start a conversation with someone that you feel may be going through this, you or someone that you may know, is ask how they're doing, listen without judging, avoiding minimizing their feelings, and encouraging them to seek help is very important. And then going back to what I said, guys, your mental health matters just as much as you do, and there are people here to support you. When I say I'm here, I most definitely mean I'm here. I can communicate through email, text, whatever, because this is what I serve for. Mental health is a very big thing that I am an advocate for, because as a person who dealt with her own mental health struggles that were really heavy, and now is able to deal with it, and now is able to help others, especially children, because it started for me as a child, on how to deal with mental health. It's not easy, you know, to just sometimes wake up and be happy. It's not. That's why I say, you know, bad times don't last forever. We all go through them, but they always shaping us and teaches us for what's to come. So give y'all a little background of the episode again, and we're going to dive into it. So episode 120, Breaking the Silence with Suicide Prevention Awareness. This episode is all about opening the conversation on suicide prevention and mental health. Too often, silence fuels stigma, but awareness builds hope and saves lives. Together, we explore how compassion, connection, and honest dialogue fosters safe space for healing. In this episode, we'll cover why silence is dangerous and awareness is valid. the importance, of suicide on families, communities, and culture. Every day, ways to support yourself and others, how to break stigma and normalizes these critical conversations, and how to break stigma and normalize this critical conversation. This episode is your reminder that every word, every check-in, and every act of love has power to change someone's story. Okay, so let's get into it. If you're new here, I break down every vibe of the day within a definition, the 5 W's, the quote of the day, and I thank you for tapping in note. So y'all, I will now be using my iPad too to keep track of the notes too, because as y'all can see all these lights, and I should have put my sunglasses on and my eyeballs on, but we're gonna work with this. So again, today's vibe of the day is breaking the silence, suicide prevention awareness. Okay? And the definition. So the definition, I break it down until I give y'all a snippet of what is going to be within this episode, as well as a little bit of facts, as well as my input. So this vibe is about opening up the conversation on suicide prevention and mental health. Breaking the silence, meaning creating a safe space for people to speak their truth, ask for help, and know they're not alone. It's about removing stigma and replacing it with compassion, understanding, and action. Too often, silence fuels change, but awareness breaks change. Awareness breaks chains. The more we talk about it, the more lives we have the power to save. And this is very important that we all take the initiative to understand that not only do adults go through things, but so does children. And the reason why I'm real big on hitting the nail within children is because they go through things too. Going to school every day is not easy, especially when you're around your peers. They're around their peers that may or may not have good sense like they do, may not be taught these things that is needed to, respect others, as well as knowing how to talk to others. Even adults go through the same thing. Sometimes you're working at a job, handling a business, whatever the case may be. You will be surrounded by people that may or may not have the common sense that you do. And that is why it is very important that I tell people, and even children that I serve, do not change yourself for nobody. But if you know you are feeling some type of way and something's not going right, and you're having this feeling that something might not go right, please contact or find an authority ASAP. And within the school system, everybody is a mandated reporter. A mandated reporter is the person that reports an incident that may happen or have happened before it escalates even more. As well as within the social work world, we have the saying that when we meet with clients and families, we introduce who we are, and then we say anything that we discuss stays confidential between us unless you're trying to harm yourself or others. Because at times, people do have the moments where they have these thoughts in their mind and it gets scary. And even though we still ask if they have a plan, if it sounds too good to be true, if you have that feeling too as a mandated reporter working with children, if you feel like it's going to happen, report it. For the safety of the child, report it. Even adults, if you feel like, the person you're working with, a teacher, staff, whatever, and it feel like something ain't right with them and they telling you they okay, but the actions is speaking louder, report it. Because you don't know how much that you have saved them from doing something that can lead them to so many different things. So that is very important. It's very important that we open a conversation up on the suicide prevention and mental health, because it's times where we had enough. Even when we're mad, sometimes we say, I don't want to be here no more. And then it's like some people really mean that and some doesn't. And that's why it's very important that we be careful what we say, because the tongue is a powerful thing. And it's also important that we take the initiative to love on ourselves and others and seek the help that we need, even if we feel like it's not needed. It's needed. Even a therapist needs a therapist to handle everything that they're working and striving for their clients. Anybody working in the human and health service field needs someone, as well as anybody that's not. Everybody needs someone. Especially in this case, it's very important that we break the silence to create a safe space for people to speak their truth and to ask for help, as well as to let them know they're not alone. Because it's so many places, especially for children, even adults, I'm gonna say everyone, that they need to have a safe space. They need to feel safe within a place, as well as feel safe around people. And sometimes what I notice too, within like reading articles and watching documentaries on like students, some of them, their safest place maybe is even at school. And the staff that is there that have left a big impact onto them and pushes them and drive them are the person that is their safe space as well. As well as being able to let them speak their truth without judging them. That's one thing that I've learned in this field of dealing with within the health and human services, that you do not judge your clients for what they feel and what they do, because we all go through things and we're not perfect. We handle things in so many different ways, and we always say, I wouldn't do that, I'm not going to do that, but you don't know what that helped them survive or not. But letting them have that forefront also gives them the opportunity and the authority and the feeling of them to feel able to speak their truth. Building that rapport with your clients is very important, as well as people that you love dearly, because if you don't build that relationship with them, it's nothing there. As well as empathy. Putting yourself in their shoes will also give you the feel of what do they need. And now when I work with high school students, empathy is a big thing I'm doing. I'm putting myself in their shoes 24/7 when they come to me, because I think, okay, they're telling me something, but now it's time for me to put myself in their shoes. And what do they expect from me to give to them? And I made a little joke, but it was true, that I'm the cool social worker. But I'm also the social worker. I am young, but I'm also the social worker that's going to make sure that I'm not steering you into the wrong direction. And if I don't know something, I'm surely going to advocate for myself to ask for help. And advocacy is a big thing that I tell my students too, even my elementary and middle school students. Like I used to tell them, advocacy, like, please stick up for yourself, speak out, like speak up, because it's very important. If you feel some type of way, let someone know. If you're not feeling it today, let someone know before you just lash out. It's very important that we pay close attention to mental health, as well as letting it be known that you have a place to speak your truth, asking for help, and know that you're not alone within any situation that you're going through. I don't care how big or small it is, my friend. You're not going through anything alone. Especially if I'm around, you're not going to be alone. You're not. And that's why I'm big too on the saying, your reasons. You know who's here for you for a reason. You know the people that is not going to steer you wrong. You know the people that is going to look out for you, as well as make sure that you're good within every aspect. And that's very important, as well as it goes for even us as adults. We have to know who's for us and who's not for us. Sometimes people, they like to keep the people that, envy them around them. But it gets to a point where if you're going through something in life, what they're going to do for you, how's that going to help you in the long run? And we have to really think about ourselves, because the more we talk about, our feelings and stuff, and as well as listening to others about their feelings, the more that we're saving people's lives. Because, if we just let the silence keep happening, what are we fixing? Because the whole key is the silence to fuel shame, but awareness to break that chain. So today, please, I'm begging you to speak out on how you feel, and don't be ashamed, because you're human and we all go through these things. So who is impacted between breaking the silence with their suicide prevention? Awareness. Suicide impacts everyone: youth, adults, families, and communities. Students under pressure, individuals battling depression, entrepreneurs facing silent struggles, and anyone carrying hidden pain can be deeply affected. No one is immune to the weight of mental health struggles, even if it appears strong on the outside. It reminds us that behind every smile could be a story untold, which is compassion matters most. Going back to what I said, y'all, please check up on the strong folks. Those be the ones that really go through it bad. And when I say go through it bad, meaning that they are the ones that are quick to run out there and pour all their energy into others' cups. But when it's their time, when they're in need, they're in silence and they don't ask for help, because it's this thing called pride that we have, that we don't want others to feel like, I'm so strong, I'm so independent, I don't need no one. We all need somebody. Even I walk around with that chip on my shoulder too, like, I'm independent, I don't need nobody. Sometimes I had that. But one thing I used to have on my shoulder, like, I'm the strong friend. I'd rather them come to me before I come to them. And it's crazy because I feel like if we're friends, close friends, you know, whatever, it should be vice versa. So if you or someone you know are going through this right now and you're the strong friend, break that chain right now on please telling someone on how you feel. Breaking that cycle of keeping silence and just beating yourself up. I'm begging you to please talk to someone, even if it's not someone in your family or staff. Please seek help within a counselor, a social worker, a therapist, a psychiatrist, somebody, because it's very important. Going back to youth are dealing with mental health every single day too, especially with them being students, athletes, whatever else the case may be. They are battling depression to even make their parents or guardians proud, as well as making their self proud. And it's very important that we give the youth the freedom as well as the right to speak on their feelings as well as how they feel, because they're human. Excuse me, but they're human. They go through things as well. They go through things as well. Excuse me, y'all. My throat got a little dry. And one thing that used to eat me up so much as a child, when I used to hear parents say, you're a child, you shouldn't be depressed or nothing. Man, and that's why I feel like that too, that saying pushed me a lot to be a school social worker. Because from the outside looking in, children are battling with things left to right. Friends, identity, self-esteem, everything you can think of, they're dealing with these things. And as a person that care for children, the youth so much, my goal is to educate the parents, let them know that, yeah, you know, sometimes we be like, they ain't got nothing to worry about, but behind these four walls, sometimes it gets crucial in here. Going back to saying some kids don't have it where they have the compassion for others. And that's a tool and that's a skill that needs to be taught from home. That helps with being taught in school. It's very important that we say something good about someone, even if it kills us. Because you never know what someone is going through. As well as for adults, that goes the same thing for adults. Adults are going through so much. Depression eats up so much. But they have to still go about their day. But they also need to know that they're doing right, as well as they have the right to express their feelings. Because if not, this is where the suicide comes in. And suicide is a very, very high number. I haven't checked this year, but let's see if we can see. But suicide rates, the numbers and stuff like that, is very high. And it's very important that we as humans take the initiative to hear people out, as well as stop judging them. We need to stop judging people, because you never know who may be in need, and you never know who needs help. And the suicide rate for this month, for the provision data from 2025 indicates that suicide remains a significant global health issue, with approximately 740,000 deaths occur annually. Suicide is a complex issue, and data for the most current year is often provision is subject to change. So the total amount of deaths that has impacted with suicide is 740,000 are reported annually worldwide, which equals to one death every 43 seconds. The leading cause for young people is stated that the World Health Organization, who reported in September 2025, which is this month, that suicide was the second leading cause of death for girls and women aged 15 to 29, and the third for men in the same age group in 2021. So let's take a moment and think about that. That's why it's very important, regardless of who it is. Y'all see, that is the youth that we need to love and protect on. Those are the ones that are going through so much. And I understand from a child's point of view, for dealing with parents, they want the best for their children. However, it's very important that we sit down and have these conversations with our children, nieces, nephews, whatever, students, because we never know how much that we can help them in situations that can prevent them from feeling this way. As well as for adults, families is impacted by this, as well as the community. It's very important that we break that cycle of, keeping it in the family, the household. No, break it, fix it now, because individuals go through things that are under pressure. They're battling depression, they're dealing with silent struggles, and they're carrying hidden pain that can deeply affect them. And that is immune to the weight of mental health struggles. Even if they appear, even children, we can feel like they appear strong, like they're so joyful and stuff. They still need the attention. To the ones that we see that's so active, and to the ones that are so out of it. Children in general, period. Adults, period. Young adults, older adults, period. We need to pay close attention to them. Because behind all these smiles, these frowns, people are going through things. As well as these Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, medias, people are going through stuff left to right. And if you or someone you know, I sound like a commercial, I know I do, y'all, when I say you or someone you know that is battling with breaking the silence, impact their suicide prevention, as well as their mental health, please get the help that you need today. Please get the help that you need today. Because you do not want to be a part of the statistic, as well as that number I just read out to y'all. 740,000 people are dying every day from suicide. And the highest is from younger girls from 15 to 29. The same within men from 15 to 29. We have to protect our people if no one's going to protect us. We have to make sure that we're doing all that we can to protect ourselves and others, because this is what it benefits. By raising awareness and fostering honest dialogue, we build a stronger support system and empowering people to seek help before it's too late. Prevention starts with connections. When people feel seen and heard and valued, it can save lives. It gives hope to those who feel isolated, showing them they're not alone and they're not a burden, but a blessing. It also strengthens communities, making us more empathetic in a union. By raising awareness and fostering honest dialogue, builds stronger support and empowers people to seek help within their mental health before it's too late. Going back to that number, 740,000. For us to make sure that that statistic goes low every year, we have to help our people. We have to help the youth. We have to help the adults. We have to help these families. We have to help the community. Because The benefit of this is to raise awareness and to foster honest dialogue, to be an open ear, as well as being kind, even if at times it hurt us, to people that we don't want to be kind to. But you never know how much that can help a person, because by us building a strong support system, it will empower people to seek help, as well as letting them know that it's very important to seek help regardless before it's too late. As well as the prevention starts with connection. We have to connect with our people. We have to let them know that they're heard. We have to let them know that they're seen, as well as we have to let them know they're valued, because we don't know how much of encouragement, words and stuff that we could give to them that can save their lives and to change their lives in a positive way. As well as it gives us hope for them to not feel isolated no more, and showing them that they're not a burden, they're a blessing to this world and a blessing in the skies. And it also will help to strengthen the community with it, making us more empathetic, putting ourselves in their shoes, as well as being the ones to help them when they're going through these things, to let them know that we're going to do everything that we can, but we have to do it as a union. You know, we have leaders and we need people to help follow, because if not, what are we going to do? What is the purpose are we serving? And that's why it's very important that we have to speak up and show out. We have to show that we care and really mean it, as well as giving the knowledge and tools that we can, even if it may not be a big amount, long as we're putting in the work, because it's very important. Within breaking the silence, it's very important that we put in the input and put in the work to help the youth, the adults, the families and communities to understand that their mental health matters, and suicide awareness is a big thing that we want to break the chain of. Going back to the statistics numbers of young boys and young girls are committing suicide left to right at the ages between 15 and 29. So young. They have so much life to live. And it hurts my heart so bad, because we judge so much before we could get to fully understand, as well as have a full conversation with a person. Y'all know the saying, don't judge a book by its cover. Well, don't judge a book by its cover. If you haven't took the time out of your day to sit down, to read the book, figure out some things about it. If you don't like it, put it back. And put it back neatly. And that's very important within being able to help our people in need. We need to stop all the hate and let things go and help these people in need. Not these people, but help our people, especially our children. Our children need us more than anything. Our children looks up to us, and we have to set a good example to them with letting them know that it's okay to have feelings, it's okay to go through these things. And that's why I'm here to help you, as well as letting them be known that you are the one that they can feel comfortable with. Because if not, these things will happen between the cracks or between our fingers, and you don't want to slip away. We need to let them know that they're not a burden, but they're a blessing, and they deserve to be here. And it will also put a strength on the communities to even build around more awareness impacting mental health as well, and then making us more empathetic and come together as a union, having us to have that compassion, build that rapport and advocacy. That ties into when should you speak up. You should always speak up when someone or you're going through something in life, regardless of how big or small it is. Speak up and show out for yourself. Advocate for yourself, regardless if no one listens to you or not. You're going to advocate until someone say, you know what, I'm here to help you. But we shouldn't have to do that. We should advocate for people as soon as they feel or going through something, because you never know how this may affect a person. So we should always speak up. We should speak up all the time. Suicide prevention, isn't just a seasonal conversation. It's an ongoing effect. Whether it's September Suicide Prevention Month or Random Wednesday, speaking up when you notice change in someone or within yourself can make all the difference. Don't wait until the right time to ask someone if someone's okay, or when you feel like you're okay. But sometimes you check-in comes at their breaking point. Every moment is an opportunity to plant a seed of hope. So whether it is a September Suicide Prevention Month or Random Wednesday, speak up when you notice change in someone or in yourself. Okay? Because that can make all the difference to get the access and help that you need. Don't wait for the right time to ask someone if they're okay. And I'm real big on this. If I feel in my gut you come through my mind, I'm going to check on you, because you never know how much of you just having a thought of that person in your mind can help them out. And even broader, something that may needs to be expanded. You never know. Like, if you're thinking about a friend that you used to talk to, an ex, a staff member, family member, whatever, even if y'all on good terms or not, just reach out and be like, hey, I know we may not be on the best terms or not, but I still care for you. And I had to start in my mind or my body. It just gave me like, I need to check on you. And you never know how much you can save them from something, as well as for yourself. Because I'm real big on, if I keep thinking about a person, that means I need to talk to them. If a person is feeling some type of way about me and they keep thinking about me, they need to talk to me. So don't wait for just that right time to be like, oh, I'm gonna talk to him or her. No, when you get that urge in your body where it's like, I need to talk to them, because you don't know how much that they needed you in their life, and you don't know how much that you needed them in your life. So don't wait for that right time to ask them if they're okay, because sometimes you checking in comes at a breaking point for them, to help them unbreak that chain of staying stagnant. Because every moment is an opportunity to plant a seed for hope. So going back to, if you guys may not be on the good best of terms or not, you may be planting a seed of hope to help them, or help build the relationship that y'all have, build that rapport with each other, but then building that empathy, that advocacy and compassion for each other. Y'all might open so many doors to help each other. So when you feel like it's time to speak up, I'm not going to say when you feel like, always know it's the right time to speak up. You should speak up always. I don't care where you at, who you with, or what you're doing, or where you at. If you feel like somebody, or you're going through something, and you feel like you're getting that urge of, like we say, for confidentiality in social work, you know what we say, everything that you and I discuss stay between us, lest you're trying to harm yourself or others. If you got that feel of you about to harm yourself or others, please get the help, seek the help right away, before you have a plan and think of a master plan to be a part of that statistics number. So always speak up, advocate for yourself, always have compassion, always be empathetic, and always say exactly how you feel, even if it hurts so much to the core. I had to learn that your feelings are valid, they matter. And I used to hate when I would express myself and I would break down, because I feel like people would not take me serious, or people call me a crybaby and everything. But if you feel that way, that means you feel that way for a reason. You're not just breaking down just for the fun of it. No, you're going through something and it's hurting you so bad that is needed to be addressed right now. And sometimes our emotions can take the best out of us. But the emotions that take the best out of us will help us heal, as well as it may lead us into things that we don't want to do. But they also give us the green light on helping us understand that we need to speak up for ourselves as well as others. If we're around others that, you know, are so down and stuff, we need to give them the green light and to help them with letting them know that we need to speak up. You need to speak up every time. I don't care how big or small it is, to speak up. and speak out for yourself, because no one's going to do it for you. It's people that's going to help, but no one is going to tell you, puppet master you within controlling you on when and how to control your actions. And it's very important that we break this silence, because it will help to break the suicide prevention. But it also will help to bring awareness on why it's important that mental health is needed. Because it's a lot of innocent souls. That number, that's a big number. 740,000 people between the ages of 15 and 29 has lost their lives. And the things could have been prevented by them having, maybe some of them having the ability to have someone in their corner, being able to speak up, as well as to feel important and feel seen and heard. So please do not wait until it's too late, when you get that urge like, I'm done, I can't take it no more, it's just driving me off the wall, to ask for help, or you see someone going through that or entering that. Please get the help you deserve. It's very important, because your mental health matters, especially for children, the young adults, high schoolers, adolescents. Please get the help you deserve. And parents, please hear your children out. Guardians as well, please hear your children out, because they may go through something that you went through in your life before, and you probably can help them more, or y'all can help each other. It's very important that we listen to each other. Yes, we work so hard and we got so much going on, but children and adults, you know, listen to your partners and stuff. Please listen to everyone's feelings, because their feelings is valid. Your mental health matters, and we want to break that silence of feeling like I can't talk to no one, because if I talk to someone, I'm becoming a bird and I'm breaking. No. Speak up and show up for yourself before it's too late. And this is when it impacts with, where does this conversation matters the most. This conversation of breaking the silence, impact of suicide prevention, happens everywhere. It matters everywhere. Everywhere it matters, from school, work, churches, families, homes, and communities. Mental health awareness belongs in all spaces where people gather and connect. The more visual and normalized these conversations become, the more lives can be saved. We must carry this conversation into places where stigma has silenced it the most. Healing becomes when the dialogue is welcome, not hitting. Healing becomes when the dialogue is welcome and not hitting. Healing starts when you let people in, and the place that you're at, it has that space of letting a person feel welcome and feel that they're able to express themselves. If not, the dialogue will continue to be hidden. And it starts from home, wherever you're at, whoever you're with. Please open the floor to letting your people, even if it's little people in your house, to express their feelings. And do not talk over the top of them. Don't tell them what they need to do. Suck it up is one thing you don't want to tell a little person or a grown person, because that suck it up mess, I'm letting you know now, it don't work like that. Some people are able to, you know, suck it up and call it a day. I could tell you from my own perspective, that ain't working with me. And even when I have my own children, I'm not doing that. And even the children I serve, I don't do that. And even the people that I talk to in my own family, I'm not sucking it up. You're not. You feel some type of way, let it out, because the healing belongs when the dialogue is able to be talked about in a space that should be a safe space. The home should be a safe space for a child and for an adult. And if not, it's okay at times. Schoolhouse or job is a safe space. Wherever they're at, make these people feel welcome. Let them know that they're important. Even at times that they get on your last nerve, you still need to let them know that their feelings is valid, as well as they're important and they mean something. And they are someone. Because that's where the healing come in. Healing belongs. Healing begins when the dialogue is welcome. Healing begins when people are able to let it out. Even if it starts at schools. Shout out to all the human and health behavioral staff. as well as the teachers, but mainly the human health staff that are able to sit and talk to students from pre-K all the way up to college. Even the people that are serving for the country, for the world. Thank you for taking the time to put yourself on the forefront to help others, as well as getting help for yourself, because it's not easy. When we help others, we have to help ourselves. Within workplaces, same thing. For the people that are HR and things like that, thank you. Churches, families, and communities, we thank you all so much for being able to give them the floor. And if you're working on it, it takes time, but be real and make sure it's coming from the heart. Because mental health awareness belongs in all spaces, everywhere you go, where people gather and connect at, where the places we gather and connect at to have a good time. If we can be able to have a good time, we should also be able to have them tough conversations in them same places with the same people, even if it hurts us. And you get to see the feel of where the healing is being able to process at. Because if it's not, then it's not needed. It's not needed for even having a good time. Because that's crazy. I can have a good time here in at this place, but if I'm going through something and I can't be able to say what I have to say to help me heal all over, it's not a place of welcoming me. It's not a place that I feel safe and I feel peace and sanity at. I want y'all to think about that. Even for adults, if you're around your people and stuff and you're here to have a good time, but if y'all going through something or you're going through something and you can't put your dialogue, you can't like welcome your feelings on the forefront, put it on the table, it's not for you, my friend. And you have to find somewhere else to feel heard and to be seen, as well as to know who your people are. It's not easy at times. Sometimes we have to go through many chapters in our life to know who's for us and who's not for us. If you or someone you know are going through this right now, it's okay. We all go through these obstacles in life where chapters open and sometimes they close right away before they even get started. It's just going to show that mentally you don't belong here. Physically you think you belong here, but my friend, mentally you don't. Because if you're not able to express yourself and find healing and peace, gotta go. Chuck that deuces, gotta go. Because the more visible and normalized these conversations become impacting mental health, especially surrounding these tough conversations we don't like to have, like with suicide, impacting death and stuff, the more lives that can be saved. Because if I'm able to go to a family event or family, ballroom or house or whatever, we here to have a good time, woohoo! But when it gets to a point where there's conversations that need to be addressed, like how I'm feeling mentally and I feel like I'm gonna have a nervous breakdown, etc., and if none of them people are here to help me feel safe when I think this is a safe space, that means I have to get up and go. It's going to hurt me because it's like, dang, this is my safe space, these my people. But if they don't feel the same way, you gotta go. Because the more visible and normal these conversations become, the more lives can be saved. So it's important that even within families, guardians, stuff, we need to incorporate, have these conversations on asking people, how are you? Checking the temp on a person. Well, when you say checking the temp, sometimes people like had to check her temp, had to see if she was, sometimes when we say check the temp is not a good thing. But I see it as check the temperature. Because somebody's temperature could be high, low, but y'all know I go by the vibe. Sometimes I might slip and say how the temp is, but I like to say the vibe. Either one, the way you say it too impacts it. But nevertheless, it's very important that we need to have these conversations, these tough conversations, so that we'll be able to save more lives, to be able to give our people the forefront on, yes, they can talk about any and everything, even to the things that is so hardcore that we may not be able to take, but we taking this on together. Because I care for you, I love you. I'm not going to have you stand out there by yourself. I'm not going to throw you out there to the wolves by yourself. Your mental health matters just as well as mine. And suicide prevention awareness is a big thing that needs all hands on deck. Because if not, the number is going to keep rising. because they said the provincial data for 2025 suggests a continued high rate of suicide global, with millions affected by serious suicidal thoughts or attempts. And the upward trend seen in the United States has promoted organizations like the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, AFSP, and the National Action Aligned for Suicide Prevention to set goals for a 20% reduce in suicide rates by 2025 through initial projects like the initial Project 25. The data underscores the ongoing need for widespread access to mental health resources and suicide prevention scenarios. So you hear it here, folks. It's important to get the help you need, but it's also important for you to know where you feel where your points are valid, as well as where your feelings is valid at, especially with the people that you're around, to feel and to see that your feelings matter. And this is why it's important that we break the silence with it on mental health, and know why it's important that suicide prevention awareness is needed, and it's very important that we need to put into action, because silence can be deadly. Break the silence. Give people the courage to share their pain, seek resources, and know that their lives matter. Every voice, every check-in, and every conversation has the power to incorporate disparity, and spark hope. Mental health is just as valid as physical health, and ignoring it only deepens the wound. Talking saves lives, and every life worth saving. Talking saves lives, and every life is worth saving. It's very important that we break this silence, because talking saves lives, and every life is worth saving, especially with that number of 740,000 people, and the total have committed suicide. And it's very important that we talk to the people that we deal with on a daily basis, or people we never talk to at all, to help them, even if we don't know them at all. Talking saves lives. More positivity saves lives. More empathy, compassion saves lives, because every life is worth saving. Because silence can be deadly. It can be very deadly. And that's why we need to break the silence, to give people the courage to share the pain, to have them hard, difficult conversations that we used to brush off, or within our families coming up or whatever, that brushed it off. Seeking resources, rehab, psychologists, social workers, counselors, and therapists, whatever that's needed, because you never know how much of the time that you spend in helping someone seek resources, or having a conversation to share these difficult conversations, to help let a person know that their life matters, because every voice, every check-in, and every conversation has the power to incorporate and spark hope. Because mental health is just as valid as our physical health. You know, health is wealth, as well as your mental health, because it's needed. Your brain is one of the toughest, strongest, powerful muscles in the body. And mental health is just as valid as your physical health, but then your arms, your legs, and all those limbs. And ignoring it only deepens the wound that will have people leading to doing things that will cause them to no longer be here. And it's very important that we need to break that silence and let it be known that suicide prevention is a big thing, and bring awareness to it. Because it should be nowhere in the world 15 through 29-year-old boys and girls, young adults, don't have the resources to seek help, to share these painful conversations, and to know that their lives matter. Talking saves lives, and every life is worth saving. And I want y'all to remember this, the quote of the day. Your story isn't over yet. This is just one chapter. Unknown. Your story is not over. This is just one chapter. Health is wealth, as well as your mental health. And I want you guys to remember, checking in on yourself and others is an act of love. Together we can replace stigma with support and silence with strength. You never know, you might be the light that helps someone keep going. Your presence, your words, and your care matters more than your resilience, more than you realize. Let me rephrase that. You never know, you might be the light that helps someone keep going. Your presence, your words, and your care matter than you realize. Sometimes being there is enough to help someone choose tomorrow. Sometimes being there is enough to help someone with tomorrow. Every day the sun won't shine, but that's why you love tomorrow. And every day may not be promised. But I guarantee you, with you or someone you may know, taking that leap on faith and seeking out resources or having these tough conversations with the people they love is most definitely needed. So you or anyone out there that's going through silence with their mental health, my friend, today that changes. Today we're breaking the silence and we're going to get the help you deserve. I'm here. And if you have these feelings, let's go back to the resources that we have. You can call 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You can text 741-741 by texting HOME to that number, 741-741. You can connect with a live trained crisis counselor for compassion 24/7 support. The crisis text line offers confidentiality and anonymous support to all individuals feeling of any crisis. The warning signs: if you feel like someone or someone you may know that's going through this, maybe talking about wanting to die, seeking out means to die by suicide, withdrawals or isolation from others, talk about feeling hopeless or trapped, please reach out to someone that you love to help you, as well as the resources provided. The myths, we're going back to the board. Myths, people talk about suicide are not just seeking attention, they may be at risk. The fact is that talking openly about mental health encourages understanding and support. And the ways to start that conversation is to ask how they're doing. Or for you, please make sure the person is asking you how you're doing. As well as vice versa. You're listening without judging and they're listening to you without judging. As well as avoiding minimizing your feelings or their feelings. Let it all out. And encouraging them or you to seek help as soon as possible. Because your story matters, your mental health matters just as much as you do. It's people that are here to support you, and I'm one of them. You need to rely on your resources and take that leap on faith and get the help you deserve, my friend. I hope you guys learned a lot from today's Vibe of the Day. I hope you even take the time to check up on the ones you love, as well as check up on yourself. As always, I love you all so very much. Please be safe out here. Please love on yourself. Don't be afraid to give someone a compliment, because you never know how much you can change their feelings or make them feel, as well as making sure that you're participating in self-care. Self-care will help you a lot, especially going through things in life. As well as being there for someone You never know how much you can help someone in a time of need, as well as helping yourself. And don't do it until it's too late. Do it right now. Always advocate. Always stand tall and firm on your feelings. Because we are moving forward within breaking the silence of our feelings. And we're always are going to advocate for suicide prevention awareness. Okay? I love you all so very much. Please be safe out here. I'm here for you guys. Emails, DMs, I'm here. I'm not going to promise I might not respond right away, but I'm going to respond. Okay? Please be safe. Protect yourself. Speak up. Speak out. But most importantly, do for you and do for others before it's too late. Okay? I see you all. You will see me and you will hear from me soon. Okay? Until next time. Bye.